She has many choices. Every time her phone lights up, another man tries to prove himself. Some send hearts. Some send money. Some send long messages hoping to be seen. But the truth is cold. The more they try, the less she feels. Because when everything is available, nothing feels rare. That is where the power of the shadow mind begins. A woman's attention is not won by noise. It is captured by silence. She does not choose the loudest man. She chooses the one she cannot read. And this is the mistake most men make. They chase. They explain. They overgive. And in doing so, they become like all the rest. But the man who understands the dark side of psychology does something different. He does not chase desire. He draws it. He does not rush to speak. He lets silence grow heavy. He does not fear losing her, because he already knows who he is. You must understand this. Choice is never about the best option. It is about the most felt option. A woman may say she wants kindness, gifts, and attention, but her emotions do not follow her words. They follow energy. They follow mystery. They follow what they cannot fully grasp. And when you stop trying to be chosen, you become what her mind cannot ignore. In every group of men around her, one man will stand out. Not because he tries, but because he doesn't. He looks at her differently. He speaks slower. He listens more. And when he does speak, his words hit harder because they come from calm, not need. This is what Machiavelli understood. Control is not about force. It is about creating emotion without losing control yourself. When you can stay calm while others chase, you rise above the noise. You become the one who holds emotional gravity. You become the man who makes her question herself. Why does he not chase me like the others? Why does he not seem affected? What does he know that they don't? Those questions are not random thoughts. They are the beginning of her desire, because attraction is not built on answers. It grows in uncertainty. It grows in the unknown. When she cannot define you, she starts to imagine you. And imagination builds stronger emotions than any reality. That is your power, not in words, not in effort, but in emotional control. Let's go deeper. Every woman's attention is divided. Work, friends, messages, distractions. Her mind is always busy. Her emotions move fast. But when she meets a man who brings stillness, something happens. He interrupts her rhythm. He slows her down. He changes her emotional pace. This is what most men never understand. You do not win her with excitement. You win her with peace, because peace is rare. In the chaos of her world, your calmness becomes her drug. She starts to crave the silence she feels around you, and that silence becomes attachment. But calmness without edge is boring. That's why Machiavellian control adds danger to peace. It is calm wrapped in mystery, stillness with intent, warm eyes but unreadable thoughts. She must sense that you see her, but that you are not waiting for her. She must feel your interest, but never your dependence. This balance creates emotional friction, the spark of desire. Let's make this practical. When you talk to her, speak less than she does. When she asks questions, answer with calm confidence, not long stories. When she tests your patience, hold your ground, not by arguing, but by smiling. This shows her something deeper, self-command. And self-command is the rarest form of attraction. A man who cannot control his words, cannot control her emotions. A man who reacts to her moods becomes her reflection. But a man who stays composed becomes her mystery. She may have 10 options, but 9 of them act the same way. They chase, they fold, they reveal too much, too fast. Only one stands apart, the one she cannot predict. That is you, if you understand the law of emotional power. Now ask yourself this. Do you move from need or from awareness? Do you speak to impress or to influence? Do you wait for her reply? Or do you already have a life that makes her wonder where your mind is? Because the man who lives with purpose never truly waits. He moves, and others notice the motion. That movement draws her more than any word could. You must build a life that feels full even without her. That fullness gives your presence weight. When she senses that weight, she feels your value without needing proof. And once she feels that, she begins to choose you. Not because of what you give, but because of what you represent. You become a symbol of strength, stillness, and emotional danger. The very mix that her mind craves, but cannot easily control. That is when the game shifts. You no longer compete. You command attention without asking for it. She starts to chase your energy, not your words. And that, my friend, is where Machiavellian attraction truly begins. Not by controlling her, but by mastering yourself. Power does not start when you speak. It starts when you decide how much of yourself to reveal. Every man wants to be understood, but mystery is what makes a woman feel. When she cannot fully read you, her mind keeps returning to the last thing you said, the way you looked at her, the pause before your smile. That loop is not random. It is psychological tension. It pulls her attention toward you again and again. Machiavelli called this governing perception. You do not show the whole truth. You show just enough to create curiosity, because curiosity binds stronger than affection. When you hold back a little, she fills the silence with imagination. She creates her own version of you, and that version grows inside her emotions. That is why control is never loud. It is always silent. Let's look at behavior. When she speaks, listen, not with hunger, but with presence. Do not rush to agree or disagree. Let her words hang in the air. Let her feel your quiet attention. Silence does what no compliment can do. It gives her space to expose her thoughts, and the more she speaks, the more she invests. She begins to feel seen, but she still cannot define you. This balance between openness and distance is what creates depth. You become the calm center she cannot shake off. Most men fear silence. They try to fill every gap with words, jokes, or approval. But the Machiavellian mind understands that silence builds gravity. Every pause makes your words carry weight. Every small reaction becomes meaningful. Imagine this. You are sitting across from her. She laughs, plays with her hair, and looks at you for reaction. Instead of jumping to respond, you let a second pass. Your eyes stay steady. You smile slowly, not too wide. That small delay shifts the energy. You become the one who sets the rhythm. She follows. That is emotional control. You are not acting. You are directing unseen tension. Control also means restraint. You never overinvest. You never explain what she did not ask. If she cancels plans, you do not complain. You say, "No problem, take care," and move on. That calm response hits harder than anger ever could. It tells her that her approval is not your oxygen. And that triggers one of the strongest reactions in human psychology, the urge to win back attention that seems unaffected. You become the man who does not need her. And that is precisely the man she cannot ignore. Let's break it down simply. When you react to every shift in her mood, she controls the frame. When you stay calm, you hold it. The frame decides who leads emotional reality. Machiavellian control means you always lead that frame quietly, without argument. If she gets distant, you let her. If she tests you, you remain centered. If she tries to draw reaction, you give a slow smile and change topic. That simple act keeps her guessing where your mind is, and curiosity keeps attraction alive. Now understand this deeper level. Control is not only about her, it is about your inner state. The man who cannot manage his emotions cannot manage perception. Women sense internal chaos like heat. It radiates from your tone, your eyes, your posture. Before she ever decides to choose you, she feels whether your energy is safe or scattered. A Machiavellian mind disciplines emotion the way a warrior disciplines movement. You feel everything, but you show what serves your strategy. So before you enter any room, slow your breathing. Stand tall. Think before you speak. When you control your rhythm, the environment adjusts to you. This is how influence begins. Every gesture, every word becomes deliberate. She feels that control, and it stirs something in her. Respect mixed with curiosity. And from that mix, attraction grows. Here's a key rule. Do not mirror her moods. Make her mirror yours. If she is playful, stay composed with a light smile. If she is cold, remain calm and warm. That reversal confuses her emotional script. Her brain expects predictable reactions. When she does not get them, she invests attention to decode you. That decoding process builds attachment faster than any confession of love. So, what should you remember? Speak less, listen more, react slower, breathe deeper, never show frustration, never chase reassurance. You are the calm storm she did not expect. You make her feel without chaos. That paradox locks her emotions to your presence. This is not manipulation. It is mastery. It is the art of guiding energy instead of fighting for attention. And when done with discipline, it changes how she sees every other man. While others push, you pull. While they compete, you command. While they beg, you breathe. And that contrast, simple yet powerful, is what starts to make her choose you. Because her choice is not logic, it is emotion. And the man who controls emotion controls choice. Every man speaks, few are heard. Every man looks, few are seen. But the man she remembers says nothing at all. Stillness is not silence. Stillness is gravity. It pulls. It commands. It makes her wonder what world you came from. When you walk into a room, energy moves. People feel it before words arrive. A calm man shapes the space. A restless man drowns in it. Women sense energy faster than words. If your mind shakes, she steps back. If your soul stays calm, she steps closer. She doesn't know why. She just feels it. Stillness does not beg. It waits. And waiting is not weakness. Waiting is control, disguised as peace. Imagine this. She speaks. You listen, not to reply, but to understand. You study her tone, her rhythm, her silence. You read her emotions like wind patterns before a storm. Then you respond. Once, slowly. That's not conversation. That's leadership through attention. Stillness gives you time. Time to see her truth beyond her performance. Every woman wears a social mask. She shows charm to most men, mystery to a few, but only in the quiet moments does her real self appear. The man who sees that wins without asking. Control begins when you stop reacting. Machiavelli once said, "Power belongs to those who understand timing." In love, timing is emotional patience. The weak man rushes. The strong man waits until the world bends toward him. You must learn to resist the impulse to chase validation. Because when you chase, you teach her to run. When you pause, you teach her to look back. And when you stand firm, you teach her to return. The modern world teaches speed, reply fast, scroll fast, feel fast. But attraction grows in the opposite direction. It lives in suspense. It feeds on distance. The moment you slow down, she begins to lean in. Women test men through silence. When she goes quiet, she measures your reaction. Do you panic? Do you reach out too soon? If you do, she sees fear. If you wait, she sees strength. The test was never about her text. It was about your self-command. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing everything with purpose. Speak less, but when you do, let your words carry truth. Move less, but when you move, let every gesture show confidence. That is what creates presence. Presence is your invisible weapon. It's what makes her forget the rest. Other men compete with words, gifts, and effort. You compete with silence, with peace, with focus. She has many choices, but none will make her feel what calm energy does, because calmness tells her, you are not one of the crowd. You are your own kingdom, and no one rules a kingdom built on noise. Stillness gives her safety, not comfort, but safety. Safety to open, safety to feel. Because when your energy does not demand, her walls start to drop. You lead not by control, but by direction. Your peace teaches her how to mirror you. Soon, her energy softens, her tone slows, her guard melts, because the one who controls the rhythm controls the connection. In every relationship, rhythm decides power. When you rush, she leads. When you slow down, she follows. That rhythm is the dance of attraction. Understand this. Stillness is not passive. It's strategic. It's the moment before a move that changes everything. You are not ignoring her. You are reading her. You are letting curiosity build inside her mind. Every second of your calm becomes a question in her head. Every breath you take becomes an echo she feels. When she wonders, she connects. When she assumes, she detaches. Keep her wondering. Not by tricks, but by truth. Because you are focused on something greater than her approval. Your peace. Peace is the highest form of power. A man at peace cannot be replaced. He is rare. He is remembered. And when she meets that, her other options fade like smoke. So stand still. Speak slow. Move with purpose. And remember this simple law. The calm man rules the storm, because she may have many choices, but only one will make her feel safe inside the silence. Distance and warmth sound like opposites, but together they form the strongest pull between two souls. One without the other collapses. Too much distance feels cold. Too much warmth feels weak. But when you balance both, you become unforgettable. A man who understands this doesn't chase, yet he doesn't freeze. He gives attention like sunlight, not like fire, enough to warm her world, never enough to burn his own. That is how you build magnetic power. Emotional distance is not ignoring her. It is guarding your inner world, your thoughts, your peace, your vision. Those are sacred ground. You decide who enters, how deep they go, and when they leave. This control is quiet. It doesn't shout. It radiates. When you hold emotional space, she feels your strength before you speak. She senses that your life has purpose beyond her. That's what creates desire. Not words, not charm, direction. A man with direction cannot be possessed. He can only be joined. Understand this. People value what they approach, not what approaches them. When you step back, you give her something to walk toward. Every step she takes builds emotional investment. If you always move first, you take that away. Let her energy flow toward you. That's how connection grows on equal ground. Distance is not rejection. It's invitation through mystery. But here lies the secret. Mystery must meet warmth, or it turns into indifference. When you show glimpses of warmth, it rewards her curiosity. When you return to silence, it renews the pull. That dance is not a trick. It's rhythm. Warmth is how you lead hearts. It's the look that says, "I see you." It's the tone that slows her heartbeat. It's the calm truth that tells her she is safe, even when you disagree. Warmth is the power to reach her without breaking your own armor. Most men confuse warmth with giving everything. They talk too much, reveal too soon, love too fast. But warmth doesn't mean exposure. It means clarity. You can be open without being empty. You can care deeply and still walk away if respect fades. When you master that, she feels both drawn and challenged. You become the mystery she trusts. And that trust is what every woman secretly craves. Machiavelli wrote that rulers must be both feared and loved. In relationships, that law translates differently. Be respected and desired. Fear without warmth breeds distance. Warmth without boundaries breeds chaos. Balance both, and you lead the connection naturally. You must learn when to pull away. Not to punish, but to preserve energy. When a woman feels your calm retreat, she sees that your attention has weight. Every word, every gesture, every silence starts to matter. That's how emotional gravity forms. When she feels your distance, she will test it. She may provoke you, question you, tempt you to lose control. But that's not manipulation. That's curiosity. She wants to know if your peace is real or fragile. If you break, you become common. If you stay grounded, she softens. Never fight for attention. Make attention earn its way. Your focus must feel earned, not scattered. When she experiences that discipline, it awakens admiration. And admiration feeds attraction far longer than charm. Distance also reveals truth. In silence, people show their real feelings. When you pause communication, watch what fills the gap. If she grows curious, she's emotionally engaged. If she grows cold, she never was. Distance cleans the mirror of connection. Warmth, on the other hand, repairs that mirror. After silence, a simple gesture, a calm word, a small smile, restores the bond. That small act carries 10 times more power because it follows restraint. That's emotional strategy, not mind games. A man who gives space commands time. He decides the pace of the story. And every story bends to the rhythm of the one who holds calm. You must become that rhythm. Unrushed, unmoved, unshaken. Remember this. Warmth wins hearts. Distance earns respect. Together, they create desire. When you speak, she listens. When you walk away, she wonders. When you return, she feels peace. And peace is the rarest form of attraction. Every man wants to be chosen. But the truth is, no one chooses a man who has already chosen chaos. Only the calm are chosen. Only the grounded are remembered. Only the ones who master distance and warmth shape desire instead of chasing it. You don't need to fight for a place in her world. You need to build a world so centered that she feels drawn into it. That world begins inside your silence. And in that silence, you become the rare man she cannot forget. Every man wants to be chosen. But few understand that being chosen is not an act of luck. It is a reflection of power. Not power over others, power over self. The man who masters himself never competes. he simply becomes the standard. Power begins with clarity. Clarity of what you are and what you will never be. A man who knows his values cannot be replaced, because his energy is rare. He does not bend to trends or opinions. He speaks when it matters, and his silence carries more truth than the noise around him. Women do not follow words. They follow direction. They follow certainty. And certainty does not scream. It stands. When you understand who you are, you stop begging for validation. You no longer wait for someone to choose you. You live in a way that invites choice, naturally. The difference is subtle, but powerful. One chases approval. The other embodies purpose. Purpose makes you magnetic. It gives your steps meaning and your presence weight. Every woman senses purpose. She feels it before you speak. It's in your posture, your focus, your silence. She recognizes it because it brings safety, the kind the world rarely offers. You do not need to dominate her world. You need to build yours so completely that she sees peace inside it. When your energy feels like home, she returns, not from manipulation, but from instinct. Because safety, not control, wins loyalty. Machiavelli wrote that every ruler must know when to act and when to wait. That wisdom applies to emotion. A man who rushes loses balance. A man who waits with focus commands attention. Patience is not absence. It is authority disguised as time. Understand this truth. The calm man creates clarity. Clarity builds trust. Trust creates choice. And choice given freely carries the greatest power. When a woman feels free to choose you, her loyalty becomes genuine. No pressure, no tactics, only alignment between strength and peace. But you cannot give peace if you do not live in it. So protect your inner world. Protect your sleep, your focus, your time, your standards. They are your foundation. Without them, attraction fades into chaos. The crown of choice does not rest on the loud. It rests on the calm. It rests on the man who does not chase storms, but becomes the eye of one. He does not fight for control. He embodies it. When you hold peace in your eyes, she sees the difference. When you stay grounded while others react, she feels it. And that feeling is unforgettable. Because strength without arrogance is rare. It shines quietly, like a flame that refuses to die. Women are drawn to that light, not because it dominates them, but because it awakens them. Your calm reminds her what real presence feels like. Your direction shows her that love is not chaos, it is rhythm. And rhythm requires a leader. You become that leader not through command, but through example, through patience, discipline, and integrity. That is the core of the shadow mind, not darkness, but awareness. The power to act without losing yourself. At the end of every story, it's never about who you win. It's about who you become. The man who chases fades. The man who grows remains. Because growth is the one force that keeps attraction alive. So build your world. Sharpen your mind. Stay grounded in peace. And walk with the quiet certainty that you are enough. When you live that truth, choice finds you. Not by chance, but by recognition. Because real power doesn't ask to be chosen. It is chosen again and again by those who feel safe in its presence. And that is the crown of choice. The mark of a man who no longer plays the game, because he became the prize. If you loved this awesome video, give us a like and hit that subscribe button to help us reach more people. Drop a comment about what you think, or let us know what you want us to cover next. We'd love to hear from you.